G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. I'm going to do a little frog today for you. And I'm going to put something in him that I've never put in before. So I'll show you that in a minute. But I thought I'm just going to do his little toes and feet, maybe up to about there. Or we'll see. Wherever I can reach with my little brush. Just in some green. And I thought I'd use the Let's Resin Chameleon powder, the green. Not that I necessarily wanted to change colour, but I just thought it's a really pretty green. So let's do that. Put some in and just tap it off because it's quite strong. You don't need a lot. Look at that. And I'm just using my small brush just to get into those little toes there. I've changed over to my old silicone mat. If you've been following me for years, you'll probably remember my old silicone mat that I used to pour on, just so that I, don't get the reflection, because I was having these reflections of the two big ring lights that are just either side of me, which I do need so that you can see what I'm doing, but I don't necessarily like the big rings. All right, let's just push that down there just a little bit. All right, do another one. I won't bore you with making you watch me do all four, but you get the general idea. Get in there, make sure you're getting up the sides as well, like so. Try not to put too much on. I put some on and then tap it off, otherwise it sort of goes everywhere and then you have to end up cleaning out your mold, because I only want it in the feet. And if I put too much on my brush, it's going to spread everywhere. Just sort of blend it in like that. Get up the sides. Give it a bit of a blow to get the excess out. Oh look, I've missed that. I've missed the side there. I didn't even realise. Probably need a round brush rather than this one, but I've only got like really, big ones that are round. What else? I've got this tiny little one, but maybe that would be better. We'll see. I'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to do the other two. I'm going to mix up my resin and then I will be right back. I finished his feet. When I was brushing down there, I thought, oh, it's going to look weird if I just stop halfway. So I ended up going all the way down. And then I thought, oh, I better go all the way down there, because if you turn it over, you can kind of see what it's going to look like. And I thought if I just stop like in here somewhere, it's going to look a bit odd. So anyway, so he's got all his feet nice and green. And I didn't want to put eyes in, like the glass eyes, because I don't think you're going to actually see them. So what I'm going to do is, and I've never done this before either. I don't know why I haven't ever thought about this. We'll put a little bit of that green powder. I mean, you could change the color if you wanted to, but I'm going to go with the green. And I'm going to just see the little round eye there and there, if you can see. Let's see if I can just get in there. And just with some circular motions, just try and get just that eyeball done. Just getting a little bit of powder from the lid there, because I really be careful not to use too much. Where's the eyeball on this one? There, I think it's there. You can just use your little baby wipe or wet wipe and clean up the edges, but I think that's it. You can check by looking on the other side. I've gone over a little bit. I've made a bit of a mess. I'll just use my wipe. Better put that lid on actually, because knowing me, I'll knock it over. So that's them there, the Intense Chameleon powders by Let's Resin. I will, as usual, put Let's Resin's links down below in the description. And I'm just very carefully just sort of trying to get any of that overspray off. A bit difficult for that one. I can't get in there. Might have to just do that. It's kind of on the eyelid. I just want to get it off that eyelid. That works. That works. Just couldn't get my finger in there. All right. Yep, that works. We find things to make them work, don't we? Okay. I think that's pretty tidy. Right, it'll do. It will do. So that is ready to go. Got our little green eyes there. Now the resin I'm using, I'm not using my usual Let's Resin Fast Cure that I do for 3D blooms because this is a bit deeper. If you're doing something deep, you need to use like a slower curing resin. So this is just their regular casting resin, A and B. And I've done 60 grams of A and probably about 58 grams of B, slightly less because A is always a bit heavier. The Frog takes about 125 grams of resin. Now, what I'm going to put inside is this. Look! Elastic bands. I just got them on, I think I just got them on Amazon or something like that. Can't remember now. Yeah, just colourful. It doesn't actually say on there what they are, but anyway, they're elastic bands. I stirred my, well, actually, because it's still really cold here in Queensland, Australia, we're in winter, I put my resin in, I popped it in the microwave for 10 seconds and then stirred it for 4 minutes and then put it in my debubbling machine. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I should do this. Maybe I should just grab some. Just grab some and put them in there. And this is why I didn't think that was any point me sort of doing eyes, because I don't think you're going to see them with all this going on. And you don't really need to get up into the feet because no one's going to see that. But I do want to, oh, look at that. That looks so cool. I do want to sort of get into that head there though. Oh, that one's a bit wonky. Okay, out you go. I'm going to shove them in there. Actually, let's kind of mix them up a little bit. I don't want them too kind of regimented. Mix them up a bit. I think that'll be fine. We don't need all of that. What do you think? It's just a bit of fun. A little bit of fun. Why not? And of course you could do as few or as many as your little heart's desire. But I'm just going to flip it over and, oh yeah, I need to get them into that little nose a bit more. It's a good thing about having these sort of translucent molds. You can see what's going on the other side. But no peeking for 3D blooms, okay? Not allowed to peek. Nope. The molds I make are white anyway. You can't see through them. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Get in there as much as I can. Push in there. All right, I think that will be good. I'm just hoping that they're not going to float. If they float, I'm going to be in a world of hurt. I'll have to put something over the top, like a little piece of silicone, or you can put silicone, you can put a bit of plastic, a plastic bag. All right, this is starting to warm up a bit now, so let's pour in and hopefully, look, I don't know whether or not it's going to have a million bubbles in it, trapped between all the elastics. I don't know. Hope not. We'll just have to wait and see. So all you can do is warm up your resin if it's really cold where you are, like it is here. Put it in your bubble removing machine. Try not to use a resin that's too thick because the bubbles, you know, are more likely to stay in a resin that's really thick. I did sort of contemplate using my deep pour resin, which is really thin, but you got to wait 2 days to unmold it, and I'm not that patient. I don't want to wait 2 days to unmold. Let's get in there in those little feet. So even though this frog holds about 125 grams, because I have displaced the resin now with all those elastic bands or rubber bands, it probably won't take quite all of that. But I thought I'd just make up about 120. Is that a bubble? See that? Is that a bubble? Is that a bubble? Let's just... see what that is. I think, yep, it's a bubble. Bubbles like to get trapped. There it is, you know, in like an overhang there. Okay, that's good. Got him out. Now, if you wanted to, if you had a pressure pot, you can't put this in a vacuum chamber because it will overflow. You can only put sort of something that's maybe half full in a vacuum chamber because it bubbles up so much. But if you've got a pressure pot, you could actually fill that right to the top and put it in because it compresses, it pushes down, whereas the vacuum chamber sort of pushes up. So that's the difference. But if you had one, and look, I do have one, but I don't know how to use it. And my husband's at golf this morning. So he normally puts them on for me, and I thought, oh, I don't know, I should probably learn how to do it. But it's got these huge wing nuts, and I just don't have the strength in my hands to turn them. So I tend to let Dave do it. But yeah, like I said, he's at golf today. And I'm left to my own devices. So I'll just do the best I can here. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to get the resin to go into these little toes. In you go. I'm just going to take a little bit of time and push the resin into each little toe. There we go. Make sure there's no bubbles in there. It's almost in, but I just need to encourage it to go in all the way. And you only need like a tiny bit in there, and then the rest goes, okay, here we go, and it follows. But you just need to give them a start. Make sure it's gone into all of those. Oh, that one's done. Are you done? Yep, you're done. You're done. And then once I've done all of them, I can put a tiny bit more resin in just to fill it up all the way. Now, if you can't see if there's any bubbles, you can use the torch. And I've shown you this before, torch, flashlight. Look away if you don't want to see flashing lights. And I just shine it into those toes. And then I can see if there's any bubbles. It's a little bit harder. There's one in there. It's a little bit harder with the naked eye. But the torch will pick it up. So just to make sure you got no bubbles. And then the other thing I'm going to do is, I'm not going to torch because obviously we've got rubber in here and it would probably just burn. But what I can do is use my isopropyl alcohol and just give the top a light spray. I just want to make sure that everything is full, because as the resin cures, it kind of shrinks a little bit and pulls away from the sides. So I do want to make sure I fill it as much as I possibly can. But we don't need all of these. I might end up taking just a few out, because I don't want them poking up through the top. I think there's plenty there. All right, that is good. This is much as I can put in, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray with my isopropyl. They're not really popping all that well because the resin started to thicken up now, so I'm just going to pick them out. Do you think that I've got a heap of bubbles in all that entanglement of little elastics, or do you think it's going to be okay? Yeah. Hopefully I'm not going to overflow anything. If I do that a few times, look, there's a couple of bubbles. I'll just give it some time. It's not a fast curing resin, so hopefully, you know, hopefully I've got a bit of time to sit here and pick bubbles out. Although in all that entanglement, you're probably not going to see if there's a few sitting on the top. So I probably don't need to be too concerned about it, but the big ones, if they come to the surface, I'll just pick them out. All right, so that is where I will leave you. And I probably won't be able to unmold it till tomorrow. The fast cure, you know, I can unmold in sort of 4 to 6 hours, depending on the temperature of my studio. But with the casting resin, it's probably going to take, you know, 12 hours. What's the time now? 10:30 in the morning. So yeah, I'll be in bed at 10:30 tonight. I will. So anyway, I'll come back and check on it, make sure that there's no more sort of big bubbles sitting on top, and clean up my mess. I like having the silicone mat again. I can clean it up easily. It's just not as attractive. I like having that sort of, you know, timber look going on, but never mind. 'Tis what it is. Can't have everything. I may in the future just move these 2 lights that are just here to there and there, a bit further away, and then they probably maybe shine their rings sort of further out. So I'll do that. I just have to coax my husband to do that. We've got so many things to do still. Oh, anyway, all right, that's me done for now. I'm going to go and have some breakfast and a coffee, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the unmolding. But we'll take you in just so that you can see a little bit closer there. That's what it's looking like. All right, see you soon. It's the next day and little Froggy has cured. The little toes are always the last to cure. I gave them a bit of a squeeze last night and they were a little bit soft still, so I had to leave them, because the deeper areas will cure a lot faster than these little shallow areas. So where will we start? Let's see. Let's start at the back, shall we? Hope it's going to be pretty. And also, before you go today, I want to show you my new mold. It's kind of, well, it's new, but it's based on one of my older ones. So I'll show you that. And there's also another, oh, look at that. There's also another new mold that I'm working on. So I'll show you that one next week, but I'll show you this other one today as soon as I finished unmolding. So hang around for that if you're interested. I can't see. Oh, there's one tiny little bubble there. I was going to say I can't see any bubbles, but I'm going to zoom you out a little bit more, hey? There we go. Because I'm bringing it up closer, I can see what I'm doing, and then it's probably too close for you. Now, just got to be careful around these little toes. I want to break a toe. There we go. A little bit of overflow. Oh, there it's gone. Flicked it right off. Okay, there we go. Are we ready? Let's have a look and see how the little eyes have turned out first, hey? Keen to see those. Oh, that looks nice. Look at the little eyes. There's the other one too. Yep, that's good. And of course you could get your black marker. And which way do frog's eyes go? I think they do go that way, don't they? So you could, if you wanted to, just, you know, do that just to make it look a little bit more froggy like. Isn't this an easy way to do eyes, you guys? Because I know a lot of you really struggle with, you know, putting in the glass eyes, and you end up with an eye down up here or down here or something. So this is, I think, a great way for those that maybe are just starting out in resin and maybe not so confident with putting the glass eyes in, or painting your own eyes. That works. That looks really good. I'm happy with that. All right, without further ado, let's have a look and see what this guy's turned out like. We can already see it down here. Look at that. That is so cool. Love that. There is a little bubble just there. Oh, that is so cool. I like that. Loving this green here too. And I don't know if you can see it. It is changing from sort of a blue. You've got blue on the knees there. It's changing from blue to green, which looks really pretty. Oh, I'm happy with that. Little toes have worked out well. If you had little beads, you could put little beads in the toes. I've done that before with my giant frog. My giant frog is available in my eBay store and my Amazon store, so you can check those out if you want the giant frog. Oh, I love it. All right, now I want to show you my new mold. Now, hopefully you've seen my giant dragon mold. This one. Look how big it is. So that's what it looks like. Oh, I've got one up on the top shelf up there. I can't reach it at the moment, but if you've been following me, you'll see me, you know, making my giant dragon. But I wanted to show you the baby dragon. I've made a baby dragon because I know, look, it's a big mold. It does make a statement. If you want a statement piece, go for this one. But if you just want a little dragon, you don't want to spend too much on a mold, you don't want to spend too much on resin. Look at this. Oh, isn't it adorable? So we have the mummy dragon or the daddy dragon, and we have the little baby dragon. So it's pretty much identical, just a bit smaller. There you go. Look at that. Now, it won't be available just yet. I will link it as soon as it's available. Probably going to be probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. But this one's available at the moment. How exciting! What do you think? Would you buy the small one, or do you prefer the bigger one? It's got the same detail. So cool. I haven't actually poured this one yet, so I'm keen to do that. So that'll be coming up. And then next week I'll show you my other new mold. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my little froggy with the elastic bands or rubber bands. And I'll see you real soon for the next video. I want to try Larimar again real soon. All right, take care, guys. Bye for now.